I don't know if any of you have kept up with the back and forth that's been going on. Anthony Riley is scared to death at the moment. He has no idea how he's going to go about discrediting this. So he's just trying any and everything he can. He makes a charge which is completely false, that Cavendish somehow or the other said humans can't be anywhere near this thing, that was going to have an effect. You do and I think most people realize that Cavendish was just standing on the other side of a brick wall when he was making his observations. No different than me sitting here right now, and I'm about 4 feet away, almost 5 feet away from the thing, right off the end of it, where my mass is not trying to cause the balance to rotate. And that wall, unless there was something magic about those bricks he made that shed out of, that building out of, that damn wall doesn't block gravity. It didn't block the gravity of Cavendish's body. So, as usual, Anthony has it completely wrong. But then I thought, there's a way to show that that me being here doesn't really matter. So I think what we'll do, we'll look at how this thing is oscillating back and forth.
Okay, so the first thing to point out is that he thinks that there is an unfounded claim that obviously originates from me, but let's just see what the unfounded nature of the claim is. It says clearly in the Cavendish paper, the paper that was submitted to the Royal Society in June the 21st, 1798, top of page 3 is where I'm reading from. I'll put a link in the box again. Clearly he's not reading this, and if he is reading it, he's deliberately deceiving his audience into thinking that there's not an issue here when there clearly is. It says clearly, as Cavendish was convinced of the necessity of guarding against this source of error, which is producing currents which will draw the arm sensibly aside, he resolves to place the apparatus in a room which should remain constantly shut, and to observe the motion of the arm from without by means of a telescope, and to suspend the weights in such a manner that I could move them without entering the room. So, the question that one has to ask here is Hillbilly Blue Balls delusional, or is he just lying to his own audience? Because it says in his own paper that he should not enter the room. Now, the reason for this is because his presence produces a current that the air moves around him. Imagine walking through water. Blue Marble is walking through a fluid medium called air, and not only is he creating a turbulent force as he walks through it, the heat from his head is convecting a heat current, which is causing another disturbance. And it's that disturbance that Cavendish says, he should not enter the room and the door should remain shut. Now, let's go back to one of my more recent videos where I cited Hillbilly Blue Balls for basically admitting that his presence in the room causes an effect. So I can't remember exactly where it is, and I have to look for some of the citations. It's probably in this one. Let's have a little look. It's going to take me a while. I'll have to snip out of this until I find where it is. Bear with me, I'll come back to you when I find it. Here we go. To BlueMarbleScience 2 days ago. Let's see, as he's responded. He said that I'm a piece of work. Let's see what he says. From 1532 in this video, he admits his presence is enough to affect the test. So let's have a little look and see what it says.
Boy, you couldn't win for the universal gravitational actually run this experiment. Here's a preliminary test I ran a couple of days ago. The torsion balance was allowed to sit overnight and stabilize, and it was showing a steady reading of about 242 millimeters. Now you'll see it move a little bit right at first because just my presence out there setting up the time lapse is enough to disturb it.
There you go. So he acknowledges that his presence is enough to disturb it. It's founded within the paper that Cavendish is supposed to be repeating. It's not unfounded, Hillbilly. Why are you lying to your audience? Are you delusional, or are you just deceiving them regardless? I've said that you're lying. I've said that you're being dishonest, and now you're doubling down on that dishonesty. What on earth are you doing? If this was me, you'd be all over it, and you'd be calling me all the names under the sun. But because it's you, everybody turns a blind eye. Why is it double standards? It's a different set of rules for you compared to the rules that are for me. It literally says you can't be in the room. You know you can't be in the room. You admit that it affects the results when you are. So why are you still claiming that it's an unfounded allegation? It's not. You're not repeating the test the way you're supposed to be. Stop being dishonest.